friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I'm going to be going over everything I earned in the month of June from my small business. We're going to figure out what I spent in business expenses, what I need to pay for taxes, all that good stuff, and in the end, I'll see what my take-home pay is for the month. So if you are interested in all of that information, just keep on watching. Okay friends, so I am in my monthly budget worksheet here in my budget planner. This is the worksheet that I use for my small business. It's got, you know, a handful of lines for income, a handful of lines for expenses. When I say small business, I mean small business. I don't have a lot of different income sources. I don't have a ton of expenses. This is essentially me figuring out how much I earned from my Etsy shop, as well as my YouTube channel, what I need to pay for expenses, what I need to pay for taxes, and then anything left over at the end of the day, I get to add to my family budget. So we had quite a few paychecks in June, and by we I mean me. So let's just go ahead and start listing them out here under the income section. So I am paid by Etsy every Tuesday. That's the way I have it set up. You can actually set it up to pay out once a month or every single day if you want, but weekly is what works for me. My husband also gets paid weekly, but what I do is I bring in all of the income and I don't touch it. It just sits in my bank account until the end of the month when I true up all of my numbers and figure out how much I get to keep and how much needs to go out in spending. Any of my business expenses go on a credit card. I pay that credit card at the end of the month, you know, before I take any take-home pay, essentially. So it's pretty basic. There's not a lot of expenses. There's not a lot of overhead for my small business. So let's just get into it. My first paycheck came in on the 1st of June. It was from Etsy, and this was actually supposed to come in May, I believe, but there was, the actual payday fell on a holiday, so it got pushed back a day, which meant I got it on the 1st of June, so I included it as part of my June budget. And the amount that I earned, I don't work in estimated numbers because my pay fluctuates so much. It's not consistent. I don't even bother to estimate. I just work in actual numbers. That paycheck was $78.47. And if you are new here and you don't have any idea about my Etsy shop, I do have an Etsy shop where I sell my budget printables like this one you're seeing here. They are all digital downloads. I have tons of different patterns and designs for all of your budgeting needs. So if you are in the market for budget worksheets to help you get your budget in order, head over to my Etsy shop. I do have it linked down below, as well as a coupon code that'll get you 15% off your order. So being that they are digital downloads, they're already super affordable, plus you get that 15% off, and you get to print those printables as many times as you want, so it's a great deal. Okay, so that was the first paycheck in June. Then I had a paycheck on the 7th from Etsy, and that amount was $26.17. So as you can see, it fluctuates quite a bit. And this is income after Etsy takes all of their fees. So they have fees for listing items, they have transaction fees, all of that sort of thing. So all of that comes off the top before they pay me out. That's how I've got it set up. So I don't include Etsy fees in my expenses because that's already taken off the top. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, on the 14th then, I got a paycheck from Etsy, and it was $74.27. On the 22nd, I got a paycheck from Google AdSense. This is how I get paid for my YouTube videos. So there are ads at the start and throughout my video, and based on how many views I get on my videos, how many ads are watched, that dictates how much I get paid. I get paid just once a month from Google AdSense, and it's on a 1-month delay. So this paycheck that I received here on June 22nd was for all of the ads that were watched by my subscribers and by my viewers in May. So that amount that I got paid from YouTube was $189.83. I was pretty happy with that. My views have been down overall. I used to get $400 and $500 paychecks from Google AdSense, but I think those days are behind me now. I'm getting fewer views than I have in the past, but I'm still really, really happy with that number. So that was from Google. Also on this day, I did receive another Etsy paycheck, and that amount was $74.87. Was very happy with that. It was a pretty darn good Etsy month for me. And then I had just one last paycheck from Etsy on the 28th. And it was for a whopping $1.65. But you know what? I'm not scoffing at that because every dollar counts. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a total for how much I earned overall in the month. That's how much I was paid. So $78.47 plus $26.17 plus $74.27 plus the $189.83 plus $74.87 plus $1.65 for a grand total of $445.26 for the month. So I'm not like, you know, making bank or anything, but that's pretty respectable for what I'm doing here on my little corner of the internet. So unfortunately, I don't get to keep this $445.26. I have to pay taxes. I have to pay for any business expenses. So let's talk about expenses next. I had just one transaction this month. On the 6th, I went ahead and paid my Canva membership, and I went ahead and just paid Canva for the year. I had been paying it monthly, like $12.99 a month, and ultimately I finally decided I use Canva for a lot in my small business. I use it for my thumbnails on all of my YouTube videos. I use it to help me design all of my budget printables. I use it a ton, and so it's worth it to just go ahead and pay for the year. You actually get a little bit of a discount if you do it that way. I think it comes out to like $9.99 per month if you do it for 12 months rather than paying by the month, so I'm saving a little bit of money that way. And so I went ahead and dumped that full $119.99 for the year for Canva, and now I won't have to worry about paying for Canva again until next June. So a big expense, but I think it's worth it overall. And that's it. That was all that I had to pay out for my business this month. Sometimes I have other random expenses like printer ink or pens or computer paper or whatever, camera equipment, lighting, that sort of thing. But as of late, I've been trying to keep how much I spend to a minimum, especially since my numbers on YouTube have been down a little bit, and so far so good, right? So then we have to figure out how much we are going to pay in taxes. I don't know why I keep saying we, it's me, but we're in this process together. I guess that's why I keep saying we. So the way that I do it, and I'm not saying this is right, I have a little disclaimer in the description of all of my videos talking about how I'm not a tax professional. I'm not like giving tax advice by any means because I don't really even know what I'm doing. But what I do is I take the total amount that I earned, I subtract any business expenses, and then I take that new total and I take 30% of that to put away for taxes. So I'm going to take the $445.26 that I earned. minus my expenses of $119.99, and that gives me $325.27 in profit. And 30% of that I'm going to put away for taxes. So 30% of $325.27 is $97.58. I always round up to the next dollar, so I'm going to set aside $98 for taxes. Now, I don't earn enough money to pay taxes quarterly. I just file once a year when we file our, regular family taxes. I file my business taxes as well, and then I pay anything I owe on my take-home pay and that sort of thing. So $98 is what I'm going to put into an envelope for when I file my taxes. The last few years that I filed taxes, my husband's withholdings has more than covered anything that I've actually owed. So I always just kind of end up with that cash left over, and it's sort of like an advance on my tax refund a little bit. But I don't want to get into the habit of counting on that to be the case. So I always set the money aside. If I need it when I file my taxes, great. If not, that's great too. So $98 is going to go into my tax envelope. I did go ahead and already pull that $98 from the bank so that I can do that with you guys in a second. But that's going to leave whatever is left for my take-home pay. So we're going to take that $445.26, subtract the $119.99, subtract the $98, and that means that I have $227.27, and so that's going to be my take-home pay for the month. If at some point I start earning large amounts of money, I would pay myself a salary and put the remainder into like savings or investing in my business or whatever. But for now, I'm earning such small amounts that this is the way that I've chosen to do it, and it's been working out fine for the last couple of years. So that's going to give me my zero-based budget. Every single dime that I brought in has now been put out, and $227.27 is what I will add to my family budget to help us pay bills and debt and all of that sort of thing. So the only thing left to do then is to take this cash and put it into my envelope. The rest of this money I left in my bank. The $119.99 will go to the credit card that I used to pay this Canva membership. I have a credit card that I use just for business transactions to keep everything separate. It's not a business credit card, it's a personal credit card, but it's separate, and that's all that matters. The take-home pay I left in my bank to help pay for upcoming expenses, and then the $98 is here. So I have a little envelope here in my binder that I keep all of the money I've set aside for taxes in this little tax envelope, as you can see here. So we're going to add this money to this money. So far in 2022, I've set aside $748 for taxes. For June, we're going to set aside $98. You can see that my numbers have slowly been going down. But in June, obviously, I had higher expenses than I did in May, because in May, the only expense I had was 1 month of Canva. So even though I'm setting aside less in taxes this time, it does not indicate that I earned less. It just indicates that I spent more. Overall, actually, June's numbers were a little bit better, I think, than May. I can take a look, actually, just for comparison's sake. You can see this is May. So yeah, I earned $346.49 in May. And I earned $445 in June. So June was a little bit of an upswing, which is nice. It helps, of course, that we had that 5th paycheck in June. So ultimately it probably would be about average, but whatever. I'm happy with it. So let's go ahead and add this $98. Let me just make sure that is what I have here. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98. And we'll go ahead and add it to what we had here. Put all the denominations together. and we'll count it up, and let's just use my calculator here to figure out how much we should have. So 748 plus 98 is 846. So let's count it up really quick and make sure, oops, got such a mess on my desk. Let's count it up then and make sure that we have 846. All right. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800, 20, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. That is indeed 846. So that can go ahead and get set aside for tax season. And that is going to do it then for my small business budget for the week or the month of June. It was a pretty darn good month. Not the best month I've ever had, but certainly not the worst. I'll take it. So that's it then for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave me some feedback down below. Do you guys like this style video where I talk about my small business budget? I don't really know if I'm going to continue to share them here on my channel unless I have like a bunch of you in the comment section say yes, please share. I really enjoy this. I might not have these videos in the future. Just kind of try to see what you guys like, what you don't in terms of the budget videos. So leave me some feedback down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.